Hello, underdogs. Sorry about the technical difficulties on that. I'm hoping you guys can hear me okay now. I am Jacob with Underdog Collectibles here hosting the Underdog Super Classic Fantasy Draft stream. I'm so excited to have you guys in the stream. We have already gotten underway here just a little bit to review the picks. We had McCaffrey go first, expected then Kamara, Cook, Barkley, Henry, and Zeke. We do have our 16 team PPR league. Can people hear me in the chat? If you're here and you can hear me, let me know please and thank you. I'm so excited for this. Sweet, Patrick. Glad to hear that. Very excited for this year's fantasy draft. Some of the formatting things as we're getting underway here in the first couple rounds. I will be commentating over the draft. But for this league, the winners of each division will get a $25 break certificate here with us at Underdog Collectibles, which I will drop a link for to our breaks. Hey, Israel. What's up, buddy? And then the winner of the overall contest will get $100 of break credit with us here at Underdog Collectibles. And that will be available to be used on any of our Sunday, Tuesday night, and Thursday night breaks here on YouTube and on Facebook, however you like to watch us. We did have a break last night, had some pretty sweet hits. Had a Zach Wilson auto last night. Can't complain there. And we do have another break lined up for Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Very excited about that. It does appear that we have a couple people not here, possibly on auto pick, which is unfortunate. I asked Scott what the plan would be if I won the whole league, because obviously they're not going to give me the break credit, and he didn't really have an answer. So I don't know what to tell you guys, because I think that is exactly what's going to happen. I have intentions of sweeping this with no issues. However, the 15th pick, not ideal. Not an ideal pick for me. Would have liked one that was a little higher, but that's okay. Super excited about this draft. This is my 5th or 6th fantasy draft of the year so far. Just a couple more to go now before the season starts on Thursday, which we will be live streaming during the opening game, doing a break. Got some good things lined up for that. That would be fun, Patrick. We may do that. That would be really interesting. That may be what we have to end up going with. We will be breaking on Thursday. Like I said, I'll be running that break. It'll be at 10 p.m. on Thursday night, 10 p.m., I believe. I think we're going to push it back an hour. For those of you that didn't know, we are setting up at the Vegas card show coming up this weekend, the Industry Summit show. We do have a couple of breaks lined up for that. I'm going to throw a graphic on screen of that here after a while. But these are some of the breaks that we have available for that day. Opening some National Treasures. We've already got one box of it sold out for breaks, and we've got another one to come. Aaron Jones goes pick 9. Aaron Jones right after Devontae Adams. 2 back-to-back Packers. Guys, if you're in the chat watching the live stream, be sure to let me know that you're here in the chat so I can know who's here and commentating on picks and such. Know who's There goes, a couple big picks back to back I missed there. Had Chubb, Eckler, Tyreek Hill, Diggs. Couple of nice picks. Hey, Chad. What's up, buddy? All right, so Najee. Oh, that's tough. I wanted Najee Harris there. I was hoping he'd fall to me. That's unfortunate. Good pick. Michael Annie. That's unfortunate for me. Let's see. Who are we going to take here? Big pick. I don't know who Doug wants at his back-to-back here. I think I'm going to go with... very tough. I'm going to go with Tony Gibson on this one. More than happy to have Antonio Gibson at 15 with my RB1. I really like him this year, Patrick. I think there's a lot of room. That defense is going to be so good that there's going to be a lot of room for him to run late in games. Oh, Doug, and then you stole Calvin Ridley from me. I would have preferred him to Hopkins, but I have no problem taking DeAndre Hopkins with that pick there. Feel pretty good about that. I do like Justin Jefferson, however, not more than DeAndre Hopkins. I trust Kyler Murray a lot more. Teddy Bridgewater. That's an interesting one. I think that he's an upgrade over Drew Lock. He's willing to take chances. I mean, we saw things with Robbie Anderson and a little bit of DJ Moore last year where there were promising signs because Teddy wasn't afraid to push the ball down the field. So I think Judy and Sutton are both not bad options this year. If assuming Teddy stays the whole year and starts, if Drew Lock takes over, I don't want any part of Jerry Judy. But Judy has looked good in camp. So I think Teddy Bridgewater is not Denver's answer as an actual quarterback, but for fantasy, I can get behind it. He has a good run game too and a good defense. They're not going to be a bad team. Denver is not going to be a bad team at all. Nice couple of picks there. Had Mike Evans go, then Joe Mixon, DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, then Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They're at pick 2, around 2, pick 7, excuse me. You have no audio, Israel? Anybody else having audio problems? It may just be on your end, Israel. I don't think I'm having any issues as of right now. Lots of guys on auto pick. That's unfortunate. I'm going to have a full 16-man thing here. There goes tight end 2 off the board for the draft. Darren Waller on auto pick there. Excellent. Good to hear it, Austin. Wonder how soon George Kittle will follow. Think about a 16-man league being the 15th pick. Man, I have to wait ages. I gotta wait so long for it to come back around to me. I'm looking at the board, and there's no point. None of these guys are gonna be here for me when it comes back around. That's some fun, though. That's the fun in it. There goes Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry. I love me some Scary Terry this year. I think if Fitzpatrick is the guy, or even if Heineke's the guy, Scary Terry's going to have a great year. I mean, the dude can produce with Haskins. He can produce with anybody. Ooh, interesting. Two Chicago Bears going back-to-back. Had Montgomery and Allen Robinson go back-to-back. Leaves us in an interesting spot here at the end of the second. There goes George Kittle. That's the third tight end off the board now. I'm glad we were able to do this draft so close to the NFL season, so guys like Travis Etienne don't get drafted at bad places, and J.K. Dobbins. Those are always unfortunate things to see when guys take him and go down. I think the guy that's on the clock right now would know something about taking J.K. Dobbins and him getting hurt. I could be wrong, though. There, Robert Woods going to Team Rice. Right here at the end of the second round. Then Baker gets the back-to-back picks. Taking McCaffrey first. Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders. I like that pick. Not bad. There's CeeDee Lamb back-to-back. Now Baker's got McCaffrey, Sanders. He got his two RBs, and CeeDee Lamb as his wide receiver one. I don't hate that at all. Not at all. It's tough, Patrick. It really is. It's hard to say. That's a good pick, Team Rose. I like that a lot. I like Robinson at that spot. Um, that's a tough one, Patrick, because I like Gardner, and they obviously like Gardner too. They were willing to trade him for him, but they only gave a sixth, and they just have too much invested in Hurts. They were willing to ship away their who they thought was their franchise guy for a while for Hurts. I don't think so. I think Hurts would have to be underperforming would have to be a huge understatement. He would have to be playing horrendously to get pulled for Gardner, I think. There's just so much young and winning upside with him. I can't see them going to Gardner unless it's really, really bad. I think there's an Eagles fan in the chat, possibly. I think James is an Eagles fan. I wonder what he thinks about it. Off the board goes Amari Cooper and DeAndre Swift. It's interesting the trend that's happened in the last couple months during uh, the preseason with CeeDee Lamb kind of jumping Amari Cooper in a lot of these preseason rankings of the Cowboys receiving core because Cooper's been the guy for a while now, but CeeDee's looked so good in camp and in preseason stuff. I can't blame anybody for thinking that he's going to be the new one. I wouldn't be shocked by it myself. I think Belichick decided to go with. It's the right way to word this. Belichick decided to go with who he thought was going to give him the best chance of managing each game, managing the clock in each game. Cam, unfortunately, just turns the ball over a little bit too much. And from what it looked like in preseason, is that Mac already understood the offense pretty well, and that there's not going to be any issues going forward with a lot of unnecessary turnovers. Obviously, they're to be expected with him being a rookie, but I think it'll be less. I think we'll be more efficient than we were with Cam, and I'm happy about that. That's very true. That's very true. Cooper has had a couple problems, even when he was with the Raiders. He's had some serious issues with injury. Last couple picks that have gone off, we've had after Swift, we had Cooper Kupp, Chris Carson, a couple of good guys, and Thielen, Julio. I'm curious about that one myself. Followed by Lockett, DJ Moore, and then the first quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, went off the board there. And my pick is swiftly approaching here. Hoping that Justin and McElhaney don't take my two guys again. James, I hear you. It's a little frustrating. I hate that there's people that joined and didn't stay because I know that there were plenty of people online that wanted to get in. Here goes Chase Edmonds. Curious to see how that workload gets for him. With James Conner coming over and obviously Kenyon Drake on the out. After my swing of the picks here, I'll do a little preview of what's going on for the Las Vegas show this coming up weekend. Scott will be running the breaks over there while he's in Vegas. I'll be doing some things here at the shop. Yeah, I hear you, Israel. I mean, it's really important in a big league like this to make sure that you lock down a quarterback that's capable and that you're confident in, and Mahomes is that guy. Absolutely, no question there. Off the board goes T. Higgins, and that leaves me interesting spot here. Thinking interesting. A couple of good options here. Gus Edwards not a bad option. Josh Allen either. I think I'm going to go with Deontay Johnson and get my wide receiver 2 locked down here. Feel pretty good about having him in a PPR format. He gets a lot of targets. Mellington knew he wanted Chris Godwin. He was hoping I wouldn't take him. You can have him, Doug. It's all you, buddy. Oh, Doug. Doug. I wanted Myles Gaskin. You're killing me. He's done that to me twice now. He's sniping me. Let's see. Me and you both, Israel. Me and you both. I was hoping I could get him there at this pick. Got sniped yet again. It's a tough pick now. Tough pick now.
Quick, make your pick.
Matthew Berry's all over me. I'll go with Gus Edwards here. I don't love Gus Edwards, but I can't for that RB2 spot. I'm really just looking for volume, and I can't deny that he's going to get volume. So, putting a little bit of faith in him with my 4th round pick. It's kind of what happens when you have a thin league like this, you know. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and flash this graphic for you on the screen quickly. Just a little bit more information about our Vegas show this weekend. We will be at the Beckett Industry Summit show on September 10th and 11th. That is this weekend, like I said. And super excited about those shows. We got a lot of great product that we're preparing to break, which I'll go through and show you now. Some of the stuff that we've got planned for the Vegas break on the 10th and 11th. I know a box of National Treasures Hit Break is already sold out. I'm super excited to get to open that. We've also got some Elements that's prepared to break, some National Treasures basketball. Got lots of great hit breaks available. We're going a little bit more high dollar here. Got a 2019-20 Flawless Basketball card break. And these all have prices on them as well as times on them. because this is going to be like a scheduled thing that we do throughout the day here at the show. It'll be live streamed. There's the link for that in the chat for any of you who are interested in getting in on any of this. Got lots of great stuff. Some of the newer baseball products. Select UFC, impeccable Premier League soccer. Got a Skunk Buster football box and if you get skunked, then you're going to get entered into a drawing for this Trevor Lawrence signed mini helmet, which I think is a super sweet deal. Only $28 to either get a spot in a gold standard break or a spot in a drawing for that. That is a sweet deal. We had a couple picks go here. We had Lamar go right after Gus Edwards, followed by Ayuk, Josh Allen, Mike Davis. That's a good one. I thought about going with him as my RB2. And Raheem Mostert follows that. Austin, I will not be in Vegas for those shows. I've got some prior commitments in Knoxville here at the shop and the school, so I will not be there. But Scott will be running those shows from Vegas at the show. Still lots of great receivers on the board here at this spot. Lots of great quarterbacks and receivers. Curious to see what James does here with this pick. See, what does he need at this point? Needs another running back and another tight end. Not another tight end, excuse me, another receiver. Certainly a plethora of wide receivers here at this spot. Where'd he go with? Robbie Anderson, not a bad pick. Had a couple guys go there. Javonte Williams, Herbert, Kareem Hunt, Mark Andrews, Jerry Jeudy, Galladay, then Robbie Anderson. Not a bad slate of guys at all. It was Team Rice thinking here. Got to get another receiver, tight end, or quarterback. Went with Cortland Sutton as his wide receiver, too, behind Teddy Bridgewater. You love to see it. Sleeper tight end pick. Well, Samuel, if he's a sleeper, I can't say it in the chat just yet. We got to wait till later in the draft. Maybe you'll see. I will. Let's go. Let's take a look at some of the tight ends. We can talk about that. That's always a weird position. Some guys that I think people are a little bit low on, maybe lower than they should be. I think Gerald Everett, he's getting drafted way low. Pretty typically a high-powered Seattle offense. Excuse me. I think that he's got a lot of room, a lot of potential. Then I think Fant is a little bit too low with Teddy Bridgewater coming in. Kyler Murray goes next. I'm curious to see how Kyler Murray does this year. I mean, I've got a lot of confidence that he's going to be up there in the top 5 fantasy quarterbacks, maybe even top 5 not fantasy quarterbacks, just NFL quarterbacks. There goes Kyle Pitts, one of the first rookies to go. Not many have been taken at this point. There goes Hawkinson shortly after. That's unfortunate. I was hoping one of those two guys would fall all the way to me. I didn't think they would, but I was hoping. A little bit surprised to see Pitts go over Hawkinson. I definitely see it going both ways. Pitts has, I feel like, a little bit more of an upside. So every division winner gets $25 break credit, Israel. So whether it doesn't, your record doesn't matter for that sense. As long as you win the division outright, then you're gonna get that $25 break credit. And then the overall winner, which is not best record in the regular season, overall winner will be winner of the fantasy playoff. They'll get the $100 of break credit here at the store. We'll be in contact with people about that later in the season. I'm going to be doing a lot of different of the Sunday night breaks during the NFL season. We'll be watching football while we break, talking football. Plan to be talking lots of smack with my opponents there on those shows. Although I think my team will typically do most of the talking for me. I'm not too worried about that. Ah, sorry, Israel. Let me check with that for you. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure. There goes a couple of youngsters, Jamar Chase, Chase Claypool, and Juju Smith-Schuster, all back-to-back there. I don't see McSorley being much of a sleeper, to be honest. They've got him at 805. I guess if you want to call him a sleeper, I would probably take him at 804. So, gotcha, Patrick. Okay, yeah, that's probably what it is. I'm waiting on a response from Scott on that one, but I'll definitely take your word for it there. Yeah, I hear you there. I'm a little bit worried with Hawkinson just because of Jared Goff. I don't trust his production as a whole. However, I will say, if anybody's going to get targets in that offense, it's got to be him. They don't have any receivers worth anything. Just no receiver talent right now. Off the board goes tight end Logan Thomas. I like that pick. I like that pick by Justin. Not bad. I agree with that. Deebo Samuel is definitely an underrated player. It's tough with who I'm going to go with here. I think I'm going to go with Laviska Shenault. Go in my flex spot there. The bye weeks don't exactly line up for me, but I'm not too worried about it. I really like Shenault this year, just for pure volume's sake. He was getting plenty of volume with Gardner, and they're gonna want to throw the ball. He went with Brady and then Gesicki back to back. Don't know who I'd go with here. That's tough. Very, very tough. I'm going to go with my gut on this one. It's a little bit of a reach, I think. Ooh, do I do that? Is that smart? I don't know. Is that the right call? Yeah, I'm going to do it. Take a little bit of a risk.
Quick, make your pick.
Go with Michael Thomas. A lot of confidence. I like Michael Thomas. I wish I could wait a little bit longer than him, than my 6th-round pick, but I'm pretty confident that when he comes back, which I know he's going to miss the first 6 weeks. His bye week is in week 6, and then he'll come back week 7 or 8 or so. When he comes back, I'm pretty confident that he's going to have it figured out. And with Jameis Winston running the offense, I like Michael Thomas a lot. If Jameis is the one under center, I like Michael Thomas. I appreciate that, Israel. I was a little bit hesitant to do it. I like him, but typically I can afford, it's been a 16-team league. I can typically afford to wait a little bit longer and still get Michael Thomas in the eighth round or so, 9th round. But I don't know. I just feel really confident that he's going to be a solid wide receiver 2 or better option when he comes back. And I don't think I can pass that up. There goes Russell Wilson. I was tempted to take him there at the end of that, in my last pick there. Go ahead and lock down a quarterback, but I feel a little bit better about the team as a whole after week 6 now. Michael Thomas is somebody I've been trying to grab in all my leagues just about it, because his value for where you're getting him after week 7 is fantastic, I think, just based off targets alone. Because as much as I like Marquez Callaway, 2 years ago, Michael Thomas was the best fantasy receiver there was. Had the best year that you could have for a PPR receiver. He had so many catches. And Winston likes to throw. So some of the tight ends starting to fly off the board. Tunyon, Jonnu Smith. couple of great receivers still on the board. Good value here. A lot of those kinds of guys won't get back around to make my pick. I think Deebo Samuel is good value there. Corey Davis is good value. Marvin Jones even is good value. Marquise Brown. Some great guys. Really solid options. Ooh, back-to-back quarterbacks there, followed by right after back-to-back running backs. Excuse me. We had Lombardi Linney, followed by Sony Michel, then Ryan Tannehill and Stafford, and then Noah Fant. I like Noah Fant. That's good value there. Good value on Noah Fant. Oh, he's an auto pick, so he didn't actually take Noah Fant. That's awkward. Well, Patrick, what I was reading the other day is that they think Wentz might be able to play week 1. He was out there running around in practice recently. Yeah, he returned to practice not too long ago and was running around. He recovered way faster. They're saying he may be ready for week 1, but if he's not ready for week 1, then it could be there for week 2. Yeah, Patrick, I don't sleep on Stafford at all. I like Stafford a lot. Just a high-powered, good weapons. I mean, having Woods and Cup, I think they're both very, very, very capable receivers. Both very versatile receivers, can do a lot of different stuff. Right, plus Henderson and Michelle. They're going to be able to run the ball. That offense is going to be efficient, I think. McVay typically does that really well. I mean, he was able to make it work in that Super Bowl season with Goff, who it later came out that he couldn't even read a defense to save his life. Mike Williams there. Good pick. I like Mike Williams. Herbert can't just throw it to Keenan and Eckler. He's got to spread it a little more. A lot of vacant targets without Hunter Henry in that offense. I'll grab a water real quickly. Sorry about that, guys. I had to grab a quick drink of water. Let me see what you're talking about, Israel. Is your team that good? You do have a solid team there. You have a very solid team. No doubt in that. That's a great spot to get. That's good value on Corey Davis. Oh, there goes Jalen Hurts. That's who I was hoping to get. See, rate my 10-man league. You got Kyler, Derrick Henry, Chris Carson, Hopkins, Woods, Logan Thomas, OBJ, Rams defense, full PPR. It's not a bad team at all. I like Kyler to be a top 5 guy, I like Henry to be a top 5 guy, and I like D-Hop to be a top 5 or 6 guy. So you've got 3 great spots. Logan Thomas is an interesting one to me. I haven't made up my mind on how much I like him yet. I do like him, but not as much as some of the other guys that kind of go around him. And OBJ is an interesting one as well. It's the kind of thing that you just worry about their priorities as a team with Cleveland. Oh, and Dallas Goedert is the icing on the cake for Israel. That's a good team now. Yeah. I like Dallas Goedert a lot. It does have to come eventually. It does have to come eventually. Odell's too talented to let injuries keep him down for so long. Yeah, that is a tough matchup. That is a very tough matchup for Dak coming straight back from that injury like that. Oh, there goes Hollywood Brown. I was thinking about taking him with that pick. Followed by Jarvis, and that leaves me up here. Interesting. Who do I think? Not a big fan of any of the running backs at this spot. That's not totally true, I guess. Receivers. Who do we have at the quarterback spot available? Not horrible options. Some decent guys. Yeah, that's so much fun to be able to root for the quarterback wide receiver connection. I mean, if you had Diggs and Josh Allen stack last year, you were just having a fun time all year long. I think I'm going to go Michael Carter here with this one. Maybe a bit of a risky play in the event that Gus Edwards doesn't work out the way that I'm hoping he will, and I'll have somebody. No, I don't have a tight end yet, Austin. I'm typically a waiter on the tight end quarterback thing, unless I can get a really solid one. If I can't get one of those top 5 of Kelsey, Waller, Kittle, Pitts, Hawkinson, if I don't get one of those 5, I'd rather just wait. I don't know. I do like AB, and I think he's good value for where you can get him in most leagues, and I'm tempted to take him with this pick. The problem for me lies with there's just so many mouths to feed in Tampa, you know? So many mouths to feed. And they can't all have field days every week. Unless Brady has a Peyton Manning Broncos type season where he breaks the touchdown record, which I guess isn't impossible, but it seems unlikely. Thank you, Patrick. Felt pretty good about getting Michael Carter at that spot. Could go quarterback here.
Quick, make your pick.
Actually, I will. We'll go tight end. I'll go Tyler Higbee with this one. Yeah, that's exactly what I ended up doing. Definitely a tough decision, but Stafford likes to throw, and Hawkinson was always a good target there. So, yeah, I've been feeling that all night. I can promise you that. Defense is going off the board already, guys. Oh, man. Round 8, we're already taking defenses? I was hoping we could wait a little longer on that. Goodness. Bit too early for my taste. A couple of interesting picks here since mine had defenses going and 2 quarterbacks. Burrow and Baker both just went. 2 guys that I was thinking about getting. Looks like I'll wait a little longer. Antonio Brown, James White, Ruggs, A.J. Dillon, Cole Kmet, Jamal Williams. Not bad at all. Wide receiver sleeper coming, huh? Interesting. Interesting. I'm curious to see what you got here, Israel. Jacoby Myers, huh? That's interesting. I do like Jacoby Myers. I'm a big fan. I definitely think for PPR, he should have a good year. He seems like he's going to be the interior guy for sure, and Mac Jones seems to be able to make those throws 15, 20 yards down the field in the middle, which I think is why the tight ends will have some success too with Mac. One that I'm really curious about is Nelson Aguilar. He's looked really good in camp and going deep. And Mac can certainly throw it deep. He's got a pretty deep ball with Waddle and Smith in college, obviously. And there he goes. It's just speaking of the devil. Approaching the just here at the start of the 9th round, coming up on the 10th. I wonder about Philip Lindsay, man, because he had his rookie year and the year following in Denver. He was real solid, really efficient running the ball, and they brought in Melvin. It was just really confusing because they didn't need to do that. But now in Houston, it seems like that might be a really open running back room for him. The problem is they're just going to be a really bad team. Houston, they're just going to really not be good at all. I mean, realistically, when you think about, if you're looking down the list of the teams and you're looking at who's going to be the worst teams in the NFL, it's hard for me to imagine that it's not Houston and Detroit. And I know a lot of people are really liking Zach Wilson because of how good he looked in the preseason, but I'm not written off on that. I could certainly still see the Jets being a bad team. I'm sure they will be a bad team for at least a little bit. That defense is not good. But the Bills were in a similar position a few years ago with Josh Allen, so I think that's what the Jets are trying to recreate, is they're trying to recreate the Bills system. Oh, there goes McKissick. That's what I was hoping to get. I needed to have him as my handcuff for Antonio Gibson. Hate to see McKissick go there. And a kicker already. Kicker's off the board. Wow. Hopefully McElhaney doesn't take who I want here. I like Russell Gage a lot. That's not who I wanted, however, which means that I will be able to get him. Love me some Darnell Mooney. Feel great about getting him that spot. Inevitably, when Justin Fields takes over, I think Mooney's the man. I can't imagine that he wouldn't. I can't imagine that he wouldn't immediately take over the carries in Houston. He's definitely the best runner of the ball at this point. Randall Cobb and Tyson Williams went off the board there. I guess maybe now's about the time to take a quarterback for me. A couple of good ones that I like here at this spot. I'm going to rock with the upside and go with Trevor Lawrence. No problem with that at all. Yeah, I hear you there, Kevin. I wanted to get a quarterback a little bit earlier than this, but sometimes when you're at the back of the end of the draft, you either have to reach or you're late. And I didn't want to reach with it being this deep of a league, and so I was late, and I'm okay with that. Do I realistically think that Lawrence will be a top 16? There goes one of my tight end sleepers off the board, Gerald Everett. Followed by Tyra Williams, Nicole Hardman. Yeah, that's a great spot to get Kyler, in my opinion. Get him in the 4th, that's great. Off the board goes Jared Cook, Ben Roethlisberger. This is where it starts getting into deep sleeper territory now. Not quite yet, but we're getting there. Still a handful of rounds to go. There goes Justin Fields. It's a good pick. Good pick, no doubt. Big Justin Fields fan going into this season. There's another kicker, Young Waiku. Kirk Cousins to follow. Kirk Cousins is a solid backup. Can step in and have a good performance against a bad defense when you need him to, which is exactly what you're looking for out of those guys. Followed by Steelers defense. Surprised they hadn't gone at this point with all the other defense that had moved. Still some good defenses available, though. There goes Rondo Moore. It's a nice pick there. I like getting him that late in that draft. Yeah, it's tough. I also hate taking defenses early. I'm a huge believer in waiting until the last two picks to do kicker and defense, or defense and kicker, whatever order is fine. But with it being such a deep league, you really don't want to get stuck with the 16th best defense. And that's exactly what I'm trying to avoid. There goes Madison. Alexander Madison. Did he get taken by the team that had Dalvin Cook, or did somebody else steal that from him? Ramondre Stevenson. I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. I was thinking about taking him if he got to me. This is a little sleeper guy, because if Damian Harris went down for whatever reason, Ramondre Stevenson is great value there. Great value at that spot. Ha! Very true about Winston. I don't know. I'm curious to see how he does this year in New Orleans. I think they're going to preach the whole ball security thing to him, because that's what Breeze was so good at for so long, was being accurate and not throwing many interceptions. So I think that they're going to try and work with him on that. But ultimately, he's a gunslinger, and that's what he's going to do. I don't know if you can take that out of him. For fantasy purposes, I'm okay with it for taking Saints players that can profit off of that. Lots of possessions, lots of targets late in the game because they're losing because he did something stupid. Ooh, Gio Bernard. I was thinking about taking him there just as a nice PPR monster. Yeah, I get what you're saying there. I like Denver's defense, but I don't want to take them because they're going to have to play Kansas City and the Chargers twice a year, and that's that's tough matchups. I don't think I'm going to be able to play those guys. I'll back my boys. Go with the Pats defense. Who do you go with here? Did I just bite the bullet and take the kicker? Make sure I get a good one? Yeah. Fine by me. Typically don't like doing that, but it seems to be the trend that this is going. And in a 16-team league, I've got to have everybody be really solid across the board. Anybody that's left in the chat, I'd like to hear maybe your Super Bowl predictions. Who you think from the AFC and the NFC, and who you've got winning it all. Maybe throw in a dark horse candidate while you're at it. Maybe not somebody that you think is going to win the Super Bowl, but maybe somebody that people aren't thinking about to win it. For me this year, I would say this is finally the year that Green Bay pull it off and get to the Super Bowl. I don't know if they win or not. I haven't decided. But I think that they make it back. Even though the Bucs are stacked, Green Bay is good too. And I don't know. There's some. I wouldn't be shocked if Rodgers had another season on par with his last year. Just off the back of the Last Dance thing, would not be shocked about that. For the AFC, it's hard to pick anybody but Kansas City. I think Buffalo is close, but they didn't do enough for me in free agency on defense. They did not do enough for me on defense. Or running the ball. It's hard for me to see Buffalo do enough with the backfield is rough. Like Singletary is not good enough, and Moss is not good enough. And when you get in those late playoff games, you get against Kansas City, and you need to keep Mahomes off the field. You need to be able to manage the clock and run the ball, and I don't think they can do that. Not with the current setup. I think that Kansas City, it's hard to bet against them. Baltimore is a good shout. I do like Baltimore. I don't hate that prediction at all. Missed a few picks here. Sorry. I had Ebron, then Myers, Wayne Gallman, followed by Nico Collins, and a decent pick there, Jamison Crowder, falling pretty far. I like that a lot. I like Baltimore. Actually, I think that's what I would say maybe is the only team that's remotely built to challenge Kansas City. You think the Raiders beat up Kansas City? Like once or both times, or like win the division type beat up, or just in one matchup? It's hard for me to see anybody beating Kansas City twice in 1 year. Jets, Colts. Something about that seems a little off. Don't think that those two teams can face each other in the Super Bowl, to be honest. But I do think that the Colts are a little bit of a dark horse candidate. The defense is still real solid, great offensive line. They're going to be able to run the ball. Zach Wilson's not going to be ready. Just not going to be ready. Raiders fan. That makes more sense. I don't know. That's a tough division to win, man. Like Denver is a better team than they were a year ago, by a lot. Then the Chargers are also a great team. They're going to get some good defensive pieces back. Derwin James is going to come back, hopefully, finally. Look forward to seeing him play after not seeing him for a couple of years now. And then Kansas City, obviously. That's tough. I can appreciate the confidence. See you, Michael. Appreciate you. Have a good night, buddy. They do have a lot of tools. It's just tough. That's a tough division to win. It's a very tough division. A couple more picks go by. Carlos Hyde, Evan Ingram, Jameis Winston. I think that's good value there. Zach Ertz, Broncos defense. I like the Broncos defense, just tough matchups all year. Matt Gay, Rashad Penny, Tyler Bass, Tyler Conklin. Welcome back, Patrick. Welcome back. Did you miss it? Did you miss a pick at all, or no? Just I had to log out of the stream for a second. I like Conklin there. Not a bad pick at all. Gotcha. I love how good the draft feature is for ESPN on the phone. It's very user-friendly. It's super easy to use. There goes Trey Lance. I like that pick there. Jared Goff. That's a bit of a tougher one. Not many guys left, though, at this point. Derek Carr. I like that. For the value there. He's just missing a lot of weapons. That offensive line looks pretty depleted as well. Yes, there is. Still quite a few picks to go. 13, 14. I'll get this back to swing, and then we'll have this three full rounds to go once we hit 14. There goes a couple more defenses. Anthony Ferkser, Justin Jackson. I think so too, Patrick. I think so too. I think that they realized how crucial it was for them to have somebody solid like Mike Davis in there. So they were like, okay, we'll draft a young guy that can hopefully still hold up well, give McCaffrey a break so that he either doesn't get hurt or if he does get hurt, they can have somebody, which I think was smart on their part. Yeah, absolutely. Getting those handcuffs is crucial. Absolutely crucial. Got to have it. I like Mike Davis a lot. I like Mike Davis this year. The volume is surely there. It must be. So this is up for me. Had Daniel Jones, Lat Murray, Jason Sanders go. This is about the time I take my sleeper tight end for the year, Adam Troutman. That's my boy. Love me some Adam Troutman this year. And following that goes McManus and Hunter Renfrow. I love the reports about Hunter Renfrow. When they had the joint practices with the Rams, apparently Renfrow was just cooking Jalen Ramsey rep after rep after rep. That's so funny to me. That's where it starts getting into deep, deep guys. Yeah, I'll go with Devontae Booker there. Just Just in the event that something happens to Sec 1. Have somebody that might get some targets. This is the pick that you're telling me to watch, Israel. I'm here. I'm watching. Wow. That's a thing? You have to do that? Like Jarwin. I like that pick. I like that pick, Israel. I like that pick. That's a lot. That's a long draft to have to do all individual defensive positions. You have to know your depth charts and your rosters really well to even sign up for something like that, I think. That's pretty brutal. Huh. Yeah, I love Madden is actually really helpful for that kind of thing, for knowing those the defenses really well specifically. Just kind of the thing that you don't hear about in the games all the time, but you might see playing Madden. I'm curious about Rashad Bateman myself, Caleb. That one's tough because I think I like Bateman. He's on IR. Is that what they're saying? He's only going to be out for the first 3 or 4 weeks? Because I like Bateman a lot. And with the signing of Watkins, I don't know. It depends for me on how they want to use him. Because it seems to me like they're going to want to use him as the guy that draws attention away from Hollywood, where I think they should be using Hollywood as the guy that draws attention away from Bateman. So I'm curious to see how they go about doing that. Here we are starting up round 15, just about it. We're a couple picks into that now. A lot of people sealing the deals on their teams here, making their final few choices. There's Ty Johnson, Damian Williams. I'm really glad that we got to do this, yeah. I wish that we wouldn't have had so many guys on auto pick. That is a little bit unfortunate, but I appreciate that, Israel. Thank you. We put some thought into it. Eventually, as Underdog grows, maybe going forward in the next year or two, I had a lot of people reach out to us on Facebook and stuff and say that the league because the league filled up the night that we announced it. And so a lot of people were saying that they didn't see it and they didn't get in, and they would have loved to have gotten in. So we may have to up it and do 2 different leagues next year where you can only be in one of them. But we didn't want to do more than 16. You're already seeing the point that we're at here where we're talking about guys that aren't going to be playing much. I've seen on TikTok a lot of different 32-team leagues, and that's brutal. I mean, if you get the 32nd pick, you're going to get stuck with one guy for his first-round pick gets McCaffrey, and then you're stuck with, I don't know, Amari Cooper. It's like, well, that's not the same thing. Like, that shouldn't be. They're not on the same level. Invite only, $1. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. It's hard to decide who gets the invite, though, especially if we continue to grow and get bigger as a company. Well, that's true, yeah. That would be interesting, yeah. Do it like a break style thing where you have to buy in and you get a spot. And we need to make the announcement a little bit sooner next year. That way people have the dates set. But I had a lot of fun getting to be in charge of this. I'm looking forward to running the team all year. Getting to do these Sunday night breaks while Sunday night football is happening. So the implications are going while we're playing. I like Bateman over Kirk as well. If they were really confident in Kirk as their number 2, then they would not have drafted more. And but they did. So I'm thinking that Kirk and Moore are going to end up splitting that 2 role. And then they brought in, obviously they already have Fitzgerald, and they brought in AJ Green too. So it's kind of That's a pretty. I don't know if I would say loaded wide receiver room, but I would say it's pretty stocked. There's a lot in there. True. I would have loved to have had all 16 people in the chat the whole time. But it is a free league, and that's how it goes sometimes. Got to figure out who I'm going to take with my last 2 picks here. Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah. I do think the winners of each division should get a spot. Yeah, as long as they want to get in, I think they should be guaranteed one. Oh, I would have definitely taken Zach Wilson as a backup. Actually, I'm tempted to go with Deshaun Watson here as my backup quarterback and just stash him on the bench in the event that he comes back. That's tempting. Maybe Teddy Bridgewater? No. That's probably not smart. From a business standpoint as well. I don't know how they'd like me drafting Deshaun Watson on the company team. That's true too. As much as I've seen rumors about that, it's hard for me to buy into it until I really see it. Just because, I mean, the Dolphins aren't going to trade for him with him still being a risk of not playing, and I don't see any way that he could not hold that risk. We'll go with Josh Palmer. Go Vols. Yeah, 100%. I mean, he definitely. I think the rumors that he doesn't want to play in Houston. I'm sure he doesn't want to play in Houston, but if he can't play anywhere else, I'm sure he'd rather. But when those rumors came out, if this stuff hadn't exploded about that, then yeah, he would probably be on one of those 3 teams. Who knows? It's kind of interesting to think about. Maybe the situation with. I'm gonna go with Marlon Mack here. Maybe the situation with Aaron Rodgers would have been a little bit different, right? Because he was rumored to San Francisco. So if Deshaun Watson goes to San Francisco, Trey Lance doesn't go there, and Rodgers is never rumored to leave, or maybe he's rumored to go somewhere else, to Denver perhaps. Maybe Denver end up taking Justin Fields and the Bears are stuck with Lance or something like that. It's crazy how much that kind of situation can affect so many things. Yeah, I haven't done that either. I can go ahead and click through some of these at least. Baker's got Murray, McCaffrey, Sanders, Lamb, Boyd, Pitts, Mike Williams. A couple of decent guys on the bench like Bateman, Jacoby Myers. Rice has Matt Ryan, Kamara, James Robinson, Woods, Sutton, Hawkinson, Samuel, Younghoe Koo, Moore, Lance. I like his starting lineup a lot. I think he's got a good starting lineup. Kamara and Robinson, that's a good power duo running back. He's got Prescott, Cook, Drake, Cooper, Robbie Anderson, Kittle, Curtis Samuel. Some decent guys on the bench. Not a bad team at all. I worry about Kenyon Drake a little bit, but not bad. Fields is the starting quarterback. I feel that. I'm rocking with Lawrence. So Fields, Barkley, Swift, Robinson, Galladay. Great receiving duo there, I think. Tough that they're on the same bye week. He's got a lot of guys on bye week 10. That's going to be a rough week for him. Got Stafford, Henry, Montgomery, Kupp, Judy, Komet, Chase. Lots of young guys. This is the kind of team that right now you look at it and you're not okay, he's not going to win the league. But then these guys that he's got, Hubbard, Davis, Stafford, Montgomery, Judy, Komet, Chase. And if these kind of guys all have big years and he's right on some of these guesses, these predictions, then he has a fantastic year because of it. Elliott, Carson, Tannehill, McLaurin, Claypool, Andrews, Davis. This is a similar team for me. Very similar team. I think this team was auto-drafted, and it kind of shows. It's a bit of a weak running back room with Hunt and Michelle. Did get Kelsey, A.J. Brown, and Adam Thielen, but Ben Roethlisberger's the starting quarterback's not great either. Herbert, Fournette, and White is a bit of a weak one, but you've got Adams, Keenan Allen, and Julio Jones as your three guys, plus Herbert and Aaron Rodgers, and Ramondre Stevenson late, which I think is not bad at all. Hurts, Jones, Javonte Williams, Lockett, Cooks, Waller. That's a solid starting lineup there. Antonio Brown on the bench, Parker on the bench. Not bad at all. I like that. It's a good team. Got Mayfield, Chubb, Hilaire. Chubb and Hilaire is a good duo to have there. DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle. That could be good. Jonnu Smith, Mostert. Mostert's a tricky one for me, but I can see it. I skipped one. Oops. Mahomes, Eckler, Mike Davis, Jefferson, Chark, Goddard, and Henderson. That's a good starting lineup. Justin Jackson, Jarwin. I like that. That's a good team too. Josh Allen, Josh Jacobs, Damian Harris, Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf, Gerald Everett, Devontae Smith. That's a great starting lineup, I think. The running back line is a little bit on the weaker side, I would say. But the receiving core is fantastic. You can walk away with Hill, Metcalf, and Devontae Smith. That's solid right there. Who'd you get there, Patrick? Juwan Jennings. You love to see it. You love to see it. Can't beat Juwan Jennings. That's my boy. Russell Wilson, Joe Mixon, Chase Edmonds, Diggs, Ayuk, Logan Thomas, Hollywood Brown, Elijah Moore, Lat Murray. This is a good team as well. I like this team a lot. Mixon and Edmonds. If Mixon has a bad year, though, then he's going to be in trouble. But Najee, James Conner, Mike Evans, T. Higgins. Ha! I didn't mean to steal him from you there. All right, guys. So that is the conclusion of this year's draft. I feel pretty good about my team. I was able to get Antonio Gibson and DeAndre Hopkins to start, followed by Deontay Johnson and Gus Edwards. Then had Chenault and took a little bit of a risk taking Michael Thomas as early as I did, but I think that's going to pay off for me later in the year. I've got Michael Carter, Tyler Higbee, Darnell Mooney, and Trevor Lawrence. The Patriots defense and Justin Tucker, which I feel great about. And then my bottom four here are all some sleeper guys: Troutman, Booker, Palmer, and Marlon Mack. I feel pretty good about it. I think I've got a great three receivers, especially four receivers when Thomas comes back. But even these three guys are great. And I feel good about having Gibson, Edwards, and Michael Carter. And need Trevor Lawrence to be what everybody hopes he will be. So other than that, I feel pretty good. Feel pretty good about that. Just going to go over some things about the Las Vegas show coming up next weekend. Super excited about that. We've got some great products there to break. got the National Treasures box. We've got one of those that's already set to break, so we may be breaking another one if it can sell. I know a lot of this stuff is higher dollar, higher end stuff, but it is a higher end show, so we're hoping to attract some big spenders, big buyers. And if you're looking to get in on some of this stuff, a lot of these you're paying big money, but you're guaranteed a card. And these, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars worth of cards that are being pulled out of these boxes. You know, one of ones out of flawless National Treasures, things like that. Also, cool Skunk Buster for gold standard and a Trevor Lawrence signed mini helmet. That's pretty sweet. So that stuff is all available over here on our website. I'm going to drop that link in the chat for you guys just in case anyone's interested. And those will be available in the description below as well. I want to thank you guys for coming out for the Underdog Super Classic live fantasy draft stream. I had a lot of fun getting to run this with you guys this year. I look forward to seeing how the season plays out. I'm pretty excited. Actually, you know what would be an interesting thing is for us to go in here and look at the league standings, and it gives you projections for who it thinks will win. So let's see who it's got predicted to win right now. It's got me at 10th out of 16. I guess it moved up to 9th now for whatever reason. And it looks like Team Baker is the projected winner right now. So that is how it's projected to line out. It's got Baker, Busta, Africa, Wright, Team Rice. Can't see that name. It's cut off. Show cards, Israel. Not that this means anything. I need to take a look at your team here. Patrick. Let's see. I feel great about your running back duo with Henry and Montgomery. I mean, that's as good as it's going to get in a 16-team league, and they're going to carry the load for you this year. I like Stafford a lot. I think he's not going to be a problem for you at quarterback. Cup, I feel great about. Judy, his is super dependent for me, but as of right now, I feel pretty good about it. Jamar Chase, that one's up in the air. That one's a bit up in the air. It's all about if he can fix the drop problem he's having so far in camp. I like the bench. Solid backup quarterback, good receiving back for PPR stuff. I like Gabriel Davis this year. Chuba, I mean, you're talking serious volume reps if McCaffrey goes down. So can't complain about that. Out of 10, I'd probably give your draft a 7.5 or 8. I mean, nobody's going to get a 10 in a 16-team league, you know. But I would feel pretty good about this draft. Walk away with a solid defense as well. I'd feel great about it if it were me. I would feel pretty good. Hoping mine can come around as the year goes on. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Underdog Super Classic live stream. This has been Jacob. I've had a great time running this stream with you guys tonight. I appreciate all of your support for the shop and for me. We will see you guys on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. for the live breaks, and hopefully we'll see a lot of your names in the chat or in person at the Las Vegas show this weekend. It's been Jacob. Remember, always bet on the underdog. Stay safe and good night.